Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, which was requested by Chris. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So, we are keeping the Thanksgiving theme. We are doing a repeat. I'm doing the Brutality's Crayon Apple Corpse. It's got white peony, apple pieces, hibiscus, rosehip, cinnamon, dried cherries, orange peels, ginger root, cranberry, orange, cinnamon, and ginger flavors. I will say I was tasting this, and it doesn't have, it's one of those teas where it smells really good, but it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, so I'll have to do some adjustments on the amounts.
And I am drinking Republic of Tea's hot apple cider tea. And it's got apple pieces, cinnamon, orange peel, rose hips, berry leaves, natural flavors, ginger root, cloves, citric acid, and cardamom seeds. And this one really does kind of taste like almost like a watered down sort of apple cider. Like not super not super sweet or anything, but it's nice. It's nice. Cool. Very appley.
Thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So for the summary, credit to ChatGPT and the Horror Society and Punch Drunk Critics site it read from. Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls follows Marcus, a wannabe occultist, who wins a contest to visit his idol Bartok the Great. Once at Bartok's mansion, Marcus and the other guests become pawns in a dark ritual aimed at granting Bartok immortality, forcing Marcus to embrace his unexpected role as the fortuitous one to stop the plan. So, for entertainment, I feel a little bad because
I was all excited to show her this movie.
Just thought I would really like this movie.
This seemed right up her alley.
And it was a little too ridiculous for me.
Which is saying something.
So I give it a 7.
You loved Lamageddon.
Yeah. But it's just like...
Were you having an off day?
I thought the story for this movie was really interesting. I did like the comedy, like him being the virgin and him being so fucking mad. And then like...
You're dirty.
Yeah, and then being like, do you even know what... I'm not going to do the gesture, but I was like, do you even know what this is? And he's like, why would I do that?
What would that even do?
Yeah. So it's like, I do like some of the comedy and humor, but my main problem and what made it difficult to go through is he was a full force character. Like, he is doing constant, like, eyebrow stuff and like doing like I understand he's a YouTuber and that's like the kind of character that he does, which is good for skits.
Yeah.
But not for a full length movie.
So, to be fair, guys, she hadn't even seen, like, the interview videos that he had done and all as that character. She hadn't even heard of this guy before. I had to show these to her before she watched the movie.
Yeah, and I did hear the whole, like, notice me, senpai, notice me.
But she didn't know where it came from or anything.
But to be fair, I feel like even if I'm a YouTuber creating a movie, that I would want... It's like, I feel like a movie should be fine as a standalone upon its own merits versus being because it was created by a YouTuber. And so, I mean, his character got less like nails against the chalkboard later in the movie, but like especially in the beginning, I'm like, oh Jesus, is this going to be the whole movie? And it was, but because they had other characters kind of like separating it out, it softened it, yeah. So I would say I really didn't like it up to the point where he gets to the mansion and like meets the other characters. And then I was like really more interested in the other characters. So like I'm sorry, but it's just it was the type of humor that's like, I'm going to be more obnoxious just to be obnoxious, and that's my character, is being obnoxious, rather than like creating actual like humor around it. I mean, like I said, like the Virgin, and like there were parts of it that were legitimately funny, and like especially like after they got their like souls and stuff like sucked out, and they're like little like ghoul things. Ghouls. Yeah, like they just are like so stupid looking and funny, and fact that
it worked.
And the fact that like, and I did like Bartok's character, though it really annoyed me how he said talisman, because he's like talisman.
Yeah,
like every single time. I'm like, just say talisman. Jesus. It's not that big of a deal. But I think he was also, you know, playing his own, like,
it was a role.
crazy character. So I was like, okay. And then I did like the succubus or whatever, the demon slave girl.
Yeah, the demon.
She, like, at first I wasn't sure what to think of her, but like later when she was kind of like eyeing Marcus and stuff, it's like that was pretty funny. And I do find it
the whole dream sequence was hilarious.
Yeah. I also did like how, you know, Marcus is like making this whole thing is like, I'm Onyx the Fortuitous one, and everyone's like giving him shit about it, and then he is actually the fortuitous one, and part of like this prophecy to like stop the plan.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, the actual like movie, like well-rounded humor, I thought was like really good and entertaining. It's just like the specific like humor of like him being obnoxious and not very observant, not very like socially aware, and all of that, like that, I don't know, I just didn't really.
She didn't like his character.
Yeah, so sorry for anyone who likes that. I'm sorry, but it's just my opinion. So yeah, that's what I got.
You gonna rate it?
Yeah, I gave it a 7.
Okay. I didn't hear you actually say it, so.
Yeah, I said 7.
Okay.
The beginning.
Okay. Well, not bad.
Yeah.
Just a little disappointed. I was
like I said, I would watch this movie again.
Excited to show her this movie. So I had seen his videos before, obviously. And when my husband and I found out that he had made a movie, it was actually because of a Kickstarter.
Mm.
He had an idea for this movie, and he put it on Kickstarter, and it got way over what they were expecting.
The movie looked really good.
And it was like a quality movie.
Yeah.
For a B movie. Yeah. It was really well done. Like, the cinematography was really good.
I like the demon
effects
thing.
Were really good.
In the box.
Yes, the box demon. And what's funny is, like, the ghouls look ridiculous. But for the type of movie it was, it
100% fit, yeah.
It fit and it worked. Yeah. Like, it was great. The special effects that they used for, like, the different blood and things, it looked realistic and accurate and decent. I thought his character is hilarious, but I also like his previous videos with the interviews and things. I thought those were funny. And so for him to continue the character, to me, made sense and didn't come across as obnoxious for being obnoxious sake. Mm-hmm. It came across as that's just how his character is. Mm-hmm. And he's socially awkward, and he wants to be this big, grand person with this gigantic destiny and everything, but he's just this, like,
awkward, like, yeah,
socially inept person with, unfortunately, no friends and a really, honestly, crappy home life.
Yeah.
So I get it, and it makes sense. I like the different characters that they brought in. We actually found out about this movie because my husband was looking up other movies that the demon chick had been in.
Oh, okay.
Because she was in a show that he likes called Magicians. And he was like, I feel like I've seen her in other things. And he was looking up what her other filmography was. And he saw that this was listed. And he's like, excuse you? And we found it. We're like, we have to watch it now. It's the guy that does the interviews. And we thought that it was going to be this horrible crapshoot of a movie, to be perfectly honest. And we both ended up absolutely adoring this movie. I give it a 9.
Oh, damn.
Like, I really liked it the first time I watched it. And every time I watch it after, I like something else about it. Like, I like more and more the more I watch it.
And who knows, maybe it's like just because of my first impressions, and
It might be.
if I watch it again, it'll warm up to me. But
Or you'll warm up to
also
it,
watching
rather.
his YouTube videos, though, some of the, like, there's this one that he did that really did rub me the wrong way, where it's like, is a news story where people actually died, and he's like talking about the bodies, but in his character, I'm like, that's fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucked up. That's not funny.
I don't think I saw
but
that one, but
that one, yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, it's just, it was very funny. The characters are largely fairly relatable, but they're also very varied.
Yes.
So you can tell them apart
They're
very easily.
distinct,
It's not
yeah.
really the cookie cutter either.
And they're
like, where
interesting.
it's like,
yeah.
one is the jock, one is the nerd. It's not like that. It's just different people.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it's like, oh, the guy, the skeptic, the person that lost her faith because of some, like, it was kind of that, but not to like a, like, oh, this feels rehashed or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, I really did enjoy the characters, like, especially like the skeptic guy. I thought, I don't know, I really liked his
The
character.
teacher?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he was also in Final Destination 2.
Oh, I didn't recognize him. Okay.
Yeah. He was in Final Destination 2.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and I did like the...
He was a skeptic in that movie, too.
Oh, that's funny.
Uh-huh. He was like, there's no way. There's no way this is happening. And then he sees Ridiculous Test, and he's like, okay, maybe there's something to this.
But yeah, no, I did, and I enjoyed all of the characters.
Yeah.
To a different degree. Like, even the lady that lost her faith, like, at first, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. But she grew
was
on me.
annoying to me, especially at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But that personality type tends to be rather obnoxious and annoying to me to begin with.
Fair, yeah.
She's just the
bubbly,
super bubbly extrovert. The one that's like, stop, don't, get off me. No touchy. She's the one that like hugs you initially and thinks everybody's your friend and is constantly talking like, shut up. But she did get better throughout the movie.
Yeah, she gets better.
And on the whole, like, they're all...
The ghoul version of her looks hilarious.
Honestly, they all do.
Yeah,
all
but like
so
hers
funny.
in particular, like, really tickles me.
Yes. I loved all the cobwebs that he wore.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
It's so relatable.
Like, am I the only one running into these?
I love how he's like, why are they all at mouth level? Because isn't that always the way? Always. It's like never at like chest or waist height or legs or anything. It's always at your face.
But also, you think that after the first time, he's like, okay, I'm going to put my hand in front of me and like...
Okay, but he's, to be fair, he's kind of an idiot. And he's panicked. Also, again, the second time he goes through, there shouldn't have been any.
Yeah, and then he's rerunning into, like, cobwebs.
Yes, there's all these cobwebs everywhere. It's just part of the comedy for the movie. Obviously, it's not realistic. We'll get into that later, but it's just a funny, entertaining movie. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was, like, interesting. It definitely is creeping to, though, why did we watch this for a horror movie podcast?
Well, it was... I mean, they're going to the mansion.
It had elements of horror, for sure.
To do a satanic ritual to summon a demon.
Yeah.
And when they walk in, there's a dead dude in the floor. Like...
Which, I mean, what a way to make an impression.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. So, it was entertaining as hell. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Well, I mean, I did give it a 7, so I did.
I know.
Yeah, there were aspects I liked to it.
Yes. Yeah. We can go into the realism now. Of which there is none.
Yeah, I gave it a 1, but I don't really have a very long list.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the things that annoyed me, and I know he's supposed to be an idiot, but the fact that, like, he knows these bullies that are, like, at the burger place are bullying him, but yet he still leans forward for them to dump the milkshake on him, and, like, and then he gets all upset. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, just because they tell you to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. But, yeah. It's like, I would say I'm a doormat, and I would even not, like...
I feel like it's one of those situations where he thinks that it would likely be worse if he didn't, and just to make them go away.
Yeah, that's perfectly valid. Yeah.
Because there are a lot of bullying situations like that.
Yeah, where it's like if you do fight back, then they are going to press harder, and then you're like, well, why do I even try then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I would be throwing hands. But, yeah. I know not everybody would.
And I feel like him getting this isn't so much realism, but him grabbing the new name tag, that was just worse than his other name. He should have just kept with his other one.
They don't have a label maker anywhere?
What do you mean?
They could just make a label and put it on the name tag instead?
Yeah, I don't know. That's money.
Then get stickers.
Really what knocks it down is the fact that it's a satanic ritual for immortality and the whole... But I will say, I really thought that the whole, like, locket thing going into the knife and stuff, like... I like the different...
The interlocking things.
Yeah, like the creativity around the ritual I really did appreciate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was really cool.
I feel like they could have put a bit more thought into certain aspects of it. Like when they see the dead guy on the floor and he's like, you have to prove your faith and say, let him rise and all, and this will bring me back and all, and that's literally it. They just have to keep chanting, let him rise.
Yeah. I
know they bring it back later, so it makes sense in the context of the movie, but it just seems like that's it. That's all you have to do.
Well, and I'm surprised with Onyx not seeing the ghouls, seeing the ghouls, but then I forgot her name, but the other girl seeing
Mac.
Seeing the them as like a normal person, she would have been like, okay, what's different between us? Oh, he's not wearing the necklace. I am. I don't know.
Well, it was such a small thing.
I know.
So I can see that, they don't.
Well, and then the fact that they had specifically said, do not take off these necklaces is like, I wonder why. I don't know. But it's like they were trying to figure things out and stuff, but it's just...
And again, it's such a small thing that you forget that he ripped it off and threw it.
Yeah.
You know? But I do also find it interesting that the chant or incantation, quote unquote, that Bartok uses to get their souls is the exact same incantation from Chucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I couldn't remember all of it, but as soon as they said, "Give me the power, I beg of you," I busted out laughing, and I paused it the first time Chris and I watched it. And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "That's a call to Chucky." And then I had to look it up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is the exact incantation, word for word, the entire thing." And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, could have been a bit more thought out instead of just taking it from the Chucky movie.
Well, and I know a lot of movies, though, will kind of like take stuff from real life. So who knows? Maybe that's an actual chant and they just so happened. I don't know.
It is one of the most ridiculous chants I have ever heard.
I mean, what chant?
Yeah, but this incantation in particular sounds like gibberish. And then actually legitimately says, "Give me the power, I beg of you."
I mean, don't yuck someone's yum.
I'm sorry, this incantation, even with the Chucky movies, has always made me laugh. Just a little bit. Because it just sounds so stupid and ridiculous. And honestly, yeah. So that's... It's not a realistic movie, but it's not meant to be a realistic movie. So I also give it a 1, but it is highly entertaining. And the fact that it's not trying to be super realistic, I think helps that. Like, they know it's a comedy horror, and they lean into it.
Yeah. You know, honestly, his character, like, the type of, like, obnoxiousness and the type of, like, lean into the character reminded me a lot of what Jim Carrey tends to do.
Yes.
But, like, what doesn't... What
Not
I don't
quite to Jim Carrey level,
But what doesn't make sense in my mind is I love Jim Carrey, and I love the majority of the movies he's in.
This whole day, I've been telling you, like, you don't make sense.
I don't, but it's also a different type of humor.
I know, but I, again, thought this would be right up your alley. But it's fine.
It was one of the things where it's like, I was like,
whatever.
I was looking forward to this movie. I'm like, I bet I'm really going to enjoy this. And within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, okay, let me just give it a chance.
Okay, well, I loved it.
Yeah.
And let's just get this out there. I typically don't like the really stupid funny ones.
I know, that's what's like kind of funny about this.
I know. It's usually reversed. But I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I thought it was hilarious. And it's a really good quality one.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that helps too.
The story around like the whole immortality thing, and then they kind of do like little twists. Like, it's a fun movie. Yeah.
It's a fun story, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I know that character in particular annoyed you a bit,
but like I said, he did get better whenever he was mixed with other, like if they had started off with the mansion like earlier on, I think I actually would have liked the movie a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's just specifically because
they were trying
like,
to give you that backstory a little bit.
Yeah.
And a look into his day-to-day life.
Yeah. No, I totally understand like the reason behind that.
Another thing, I will say their decor and their choices for the different decor and things is really, really well done. Because, like, that skull that he, like, pulls down on one of the teeth on, I actually was looking up for, like, half an hour or so if I could find what kind of skull that was. I couldn't find one. I'm like, that's really interesting, and that looks legit. I'm gonna try to see what kind of animal that is. Spent like half an hour, guys. Or longer. I don't even know. It was a good while. I was looking up what kind it could be. I didn't know if maybe if it was a reference to something else. Or if it was like a real legitimate skull. Because, you know, there's some skeletal structures that you look at them and you're like, what in the hell is that? And it's something completely mundane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really, really interesting to me. So I saw that and I was like, I want to know what that is. And if it's not something legitimately out in the wild, then is that a reference to some other movie? And I couldn't find anything about it.
Interesting.
So if anyone knows, please tell me.
But no, it's like I am glad that I watched this movie, and I definitely will watch it again. I think I am going to try and give it another go. Maybe I was in a bad mood that day.
Didn't take your happy pills.
But, you know, I do find that there are, like, especially, like, some of the YouTube skits, there are, like, certain, like, characters that people play that I'm like, oh, I really don't enjoy that. So,
I can see
it
that.
might
Yeah,
be, like...
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just gotta strike that balance for me. But no, I feel like this movie is worth a watch. It's not everybody's cup of tea, for sure. I'd say, you know, if you can get past the first part and make it to when they're in the mansion and give that a go, you know, see how you warm up to it. And if you don't warm up to it, then you don't have to watch the movie. But if you start warming up, I think... like, that's where it really did get a lot more interesting for me. I really liked it.
Do also think this would be one better watched with friends.
Yes, for sure. Because it's like, I
that
didn't
are
have
ready for a
anyone
laugh.
to feed off of or whatever. So it was just me going off of what I thought was funny. And
I think that made a difference. Because I had my husband, and we were both just enjoying the hell out of that movie.
Yeah. Honestly, I had kind of, whenever I was like halfway through, I'm like, man, this is a movie that like Steven might watch. So maybe I'll like rewatch it with him and get a little more enjoyment.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you for joining us today and let us know what you thought of the movie. Honestly, with us being a little bit polarized, I would be really interested to see what the chat thinks.
Yeah.
So yeah, but if you do like the movie, let me know if you had watched him as a YouTuber before or if you were going into it fresh, because I think that's also the difference too. It's like I went into it like really fresh, and then you had something to like reference to, and so that makes also the difference in like how you like perceive that character. But yeah, if you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea available. It does not affect the price of the tea. It just allows us to continue to do what we love. And you can find all of those sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!